Hello fellow simmers, it's Samuel Beeman of BLS here and welcome to a very interesting video on the new Steam Sound Supreme super detailed Severn Valley Railway route. So this has now been released for the Buy Me a Coffee members over at Steam Sound Supreme's Buy Me a Coffee. It was released around 4 PM on Christmas Day. So basically, if you are a member of Steam Sound Supreme's Buy Me a Coffee, you will now be able to obtain the new Severn Valley Railway super detailed route as early access. If you would like to donate to Steam Sound Supreme and become a member of their Buy Me a Coffee, I shall link it in the description of the video. But the main thing and main reason to why I'm doing this video is I found out something really quite interesting about the new Severn Valley Railway route, and that is that some of the British Locomotive Studios scenarios actually carry over to the new version of the route, as seen with this Western scenario, which is quite an old scenario now. It was made by Will Braddock in 2021, I believe, for the Class 52 D1015 pack on the British Locomotive Studios website. Once again, I shall link it in the description of the video if you haven't downloaded it. So the scenario is called The Return of a Champion, and basically it's basing on 1015's first run on the SVR since overhaul. So yeah, we've got a briefing here which says, "Good morning driver, you'll be driving 10:15 on the first train off to Kidderminster. Unlock the doors and prepare for departure, calling at all stops. Remember, this is its first public pioneer service, so take it easy. We are still bedding in the second engine." So I've never actually played this scenario in full before, and I don't know how well it's going to work on the new Severn Valley Railway route, so this is actually a bit of a test. And I don't actually have all of the requirements for this scenario. I've managed to obtain the Matrix Trains porthole coaches from the Steam sale with a little bit of Christmas money, so I've obtained those. But there seems to be a green Class 08 missing, and a few broken consists or broken scenario consists or something like that. So I'm not really sure what that's all about, but I will find out what that is at some stage. But the main thing is, if BLS scenarios actually carry over to this new version of the route, I might look into perhaps trying to repair some of them to actually work, obviously, with the new version of the route, which was excellent. So then it gives obviously people chance to be able to use some scenarios on the new super detailed route. So without further ado, let's unpause the game and see how well this works. So we've got the Western Champion in all of its glory. Yeah, we have to open up our doors here at Kidderminster. Excellent. Oh, we've got the road, so that's good. It's a good sign. Okay, so it's been a while since I've driven this, so I just need to get my bearings. Okay, let's have a look. Do we have... Oh, I forgot the Western has exterior sounds in the window hand camera. It's one of the newer Armstrong Powerhouse sound packs that had that feature. I might just get a quick screenshot while we are here. It is a bit of a clag monster, that Western, isn't it? This is also one of the scenarios that were made prior to the Armstrong Powerhouse weather enhancement pack, actually, so it's still using the default weather. That's a supply briefing. Okay, so we're departing at 10:05, so we've still got a little while until departure. Let's have a look. Do we have any AI traffic on this scenario? I don't know. Doesn't look like it. Doesn't look like there's anything on the way. Okay. There's nothing at Bridge North. Stuff at Highley, yeah, so there might be some bits and pieces missing. from this scenario. We'll see how well it goes, and I'll be interested to see what Mr. Braddock's thoughts are when he watches this video, to see if anything is missing from his old scenario, or anything that could use repairing. But nevertheless, look, here it is. This is a BLS scenario on the new Severn Valley Railway route. I mean, that is just cool in itself, you know? So, you know, you've got that opportunity to be able to fix some of the older BLS scenarios to work with the new version of the route. That's just absolutely fantastic. So while we're waiting here, should we just have a quick look more around of Kidderminster? Obviously, you've seen this in a previous video. If you haven't seen my previous first look video of the Severn Valley Railway route, I shall link it in the description of the video as well, and it shall pop up at the end of this video as on the sort of the subscribe area. But one of the things I have got now is I have actually got all of the detail around Kidderminster shed area. So obviously, as you know, I had a lot of milk bottles before, but we've now got the yard clutter assets all installed. You see we've got a nice 08 under the tarpaulin. You know, got all these different like traffic cones and just, you know, random bits and pieces around the yard that have been placed down, obviously using the RS Railworks Yard Clutter Pack 02. There's a couple of things missing within the scenario. Well, the route manual, which Matt of SSS is now aware of, and he's going to update the manual and add the assets in that are missing. But yeah, so basically one of the assets was the RS Railworks Yard Clutter Pack 02, and the other being Waterwally's Buildings Asset Pack 2, which is another extra set of buildings for the route. So you can see here, I actually think I've got some more buildings around Kidderminster now, which I didn't have before, as far as I know in the first look review. I don't think I had this building here, but yeah, you can see it's a lot more, you know, I don't know, it just feels like there's more details here that I didn't have last time. So yeah, but yeah, it's looking smart. I love the detail along here. Yes, we still haven't departed yet, but yeah. I still have these issues with these milk bottles in here, and I do not know what these are. I literally just have no clue. So if anyone knows what their milk bottles are in Kidderminster Station, let me know. Okay, right, we've got right away from the guard, so we can get moving now towards Bridge North. So put ourselves into forward, give a toot on the horn, put ourselves into on, and release the loco brake. Oh yeah, you can't open and close the windows on this one. Okay, I'm sort of taking her easy. For those of you who haven't got this yet, it is recommended. Like, it is a fantastic route. If you want to see my first look, as I say, I will link it in the description of the video. Oh, I'm speeding, I need to slow down. Oh, these are the porthole coaches that I was missing, that I've now got, thanks to the steam sale. So we'll be calling at Bewdley, Arley, Harley, Hampton Road and Bridge North. So you're probably wondering, how did I manage to get this scenario work if I didn't have the requirements like the 08, which is for some reason missing, and obviously the broken consist? Well, I simply just pressed F2 and then cancel, and then basically what that does is that allows you to play the scenario regardless of what you have missing. But whatever you do when you press F2, do not press F2 and save, because that actually basically saves it to have the locomotives missing that you have, and then yeah, basically just breaks the scenario. So just don't do that, just press F2 and cancel. Although what I have noticed is, even though that this has default like weather, it looks like it's using the AP skybox, so it's actually worked in their favour really. Probably doesn't really need updating on the weather. Oh, we can give it a little bit of power now that we're sort of uphill slightly. Not too much though, as the scenario said. Yeah, that'll do, won't it? Gotta love a good western horn, haven't you? Does this have cab light? It does, but it's not a very good one. I'm actually overspeeding slightly here. to change my headset actually. I've just noticed that my left hand ear is not hearing the sound as clearly as the other hand, the right hand side, and it's not due to the fact that I have an ear infection. I've just tested with using my other ear, and there's something not quite right with this headset. It does need an update, to be fair. I need a new one. It's had its day. Well, actually, it could just be where my camera is situated. Yeah, I'm getting some weird audio with this. I don't know why. I've just noticed something. The giraffes. I didn't see them on my first look review. Brilliant. Oh, that never ceases to amaze me. The fact that someone went to the time to, I should be going 10 miles an hour, to model the safari park and the animals in it. There's so much to see on this route. You can see so many different things. To be fair though, first looking at Will's old scenario from 2021, being that this is the only time I've actually played it, I'm actually pretty enjoying it. You know, it's not too bad. We've got a nice set of stock plays down. I know there's supposed to be a mana class. I'm guessing that's an AI train, but I'm not sure if that's going to work because it said broken consists or something. So I don't know if that's something that will need fixing, but. So we've got a red ahead. Got a green now. Yeah, so this Western reskin actually makes use of Matthew Wilson's Vulcan Productions Class 52 Mega Pack. That's why you've got the really nice advanced clag effects on this. But yeah, the reskin itself is, you know, it is old. Don't get me wrong, it's old. You know, it's like one of Will's first reskins. But, you know, for its time and for what it is, it's actually really, really lovely reskin. It's done very, very nicely. He's got the colour pretty much spot on. And yeah, it looks smart. It's not the best lighting for it. I mean, it probably looks a lot better with the sun shining on it and stuff like that, but, you know, it's just because obviously the scenario is using a default weather pattern, so it could be something to do with that, but yeah. Next station is Arley, so we can get moving now. Off we go. It does actually drive nicely, this, because this is one of the later sound packs done by Armstrong Powerhouse that actually has enhanced driving physics. So it's almost an enhancement pack. But then as well, I think Matt Wilson actually did a few enhancements using obviously the VP Class 52 Mega Pack. So it's got a mix of both things, really. We'll just keep it in the on position for now, because we need to get over that 25 marker to be able to give the loco some welly, but not too much welly. Because Mr. Braddock has clearly stated at the beginning of this scenario that we can't thrash it because of the fact that they are still testing the second engine. So yeah, no thrash in this scenario, unfortunately. Cheers for that, Will. I don't know how well this is going to do when we have to get up Erdington Bank and we can't really, you know, thrash it. This is the definition of a boring driver. Do we stop at Northwood Holt? No. just realised there's a speed restriction coming up at Northwood Holt, so I should have to back off. Oh, it just looks brilliant from the cab. This route is just absolutely stunning. So if anyone in the comments want to share their thoughts and opinions on the Steam Sound Supreme Severn Valley Railway Super Detail route, put them in the comments in the YouTube video. I'll be really interested to see what other players think to the route, because I think Jonathan of Watermill Films has he's just done fantastic with this, and all the developers involved with the route have just done a sterling job. Oh, let me see if I can try and get a nice screenshot from here actually. good. Is that a milk bowl over there? Nice traffic cone. Okay. Oh, now I'm speeding. You see what you did? You can't take screenshots on this route. It's not allowed. You'll start over speeding otherwise. Also, this route is one of those routes you just have to be careful of, because look, you know, there's a 15-mile-an-hour limit coming around the corner here. It's a very odd route with the means of speed limits. It's very on-off. 1 minute you're going 25, the next you're going 15, 10, 5, you know? To be fair, I think I have briefly looked over this scenario. I'm pretty certain that Will showed me this scenario, and if I'm not mistaken, I think the Manor class was supposed to come into Kidderminster Station beside our train, and that's why we were sat at Kidderminster Station for a long while, because the Manor class was supposed to arrive, but it didn't. So, as I say, there's definitely an issue with the AI on this scenario, so it's not perfect. But as I say, the main purpose of this video was just to show that BLS scenarios have crossed over to the new version of Severn Valley Railway. They just need a little bit of a fix and alteration to make them fully compatible with it. It's just a case of updating some of the stock, you know, via TS tools and stuff like that to try and get it working with the latest version. But I'm sure that a majority of us in BLS will be happy to undertake, you know, the work just to get these old scenarios working with the new version of the route. Because at the end of the day, you know, it gives it more scenarios to play with. You know, you've then got the opportunity to have more scenarios for the route. You know, it's interesting that we're going into this platform at Arley here. So for those of you who don't know, this is the famous filming location for Oh Dr. Beeching. Just an interesting fact there about Arley Station. Yeah, I can see there's some of the GWR signs on the side of Arley there are actually done by Steve Davies, one of our BLS guys. So that's another requirement that's actually missing from the manual that they haven't put into it, and that is the British Locomotive Studios Great Western Railway posters pack by Snud. So they need to make sure that they add that to the manual on the final sort of, well, public release version when it comes out. So if the route is currently released to the Buy Me a Coffee supporters and members, that means it should be about a week until this route actually gets released to the public. Theoretically, I could be wrong. Are we in the platform? To be fair, with the length of the train, you can't really fit into that platform, technically speaking. Yeah, no, you couldn't. But yeah, at least the guards coach is in. Okay, so the next stop is Highley. But you can see here that the scenario is playable. You know, despite the issues with the AI and obviously some of the stock placement, the scenario is drivable. And technically at the beginning of the scenario when it came up with the errors, it still is registering that AI train. It's just saying broken consist. And that's, you know, that means it's going to disappear and just not show. So there must be a way of fixing that via the TS tools or you know, one of the tools anyway to fix it. So we are still at 10, so we need to make sure we don't overspeed. You'll notice that back there on that crossing where there was the two high vises, I gave them a toot of the horn. Obviously you must always do that when you see workmen alongside the line, just give them a toot of the horn just so they can acknowledge that you are approaching. That's interesting. It looks like it has a sound whistle marker or something on the HUD down there. Or like a horn thing. I wonder if they've scripted it so like if an AI train goes past the SW board it will sound its horn or whistle. That would be pretty cool. I know there's a way of doing that somehow within a scenario. You can actually get AI to do its horn. But the only like people who I know that have managed to do that is Armstrong Powerhouse with some of their scenarios. So I don't actually know how it works or how it's done exactly. Oh, there's a class 50 over there in siding at Highley. I wonder if I've still got the milk bottles at Highley that I had before. I'll have to have a look when we go past. That would be 50035 if I'm not mistaken, Arc Roll. We'll be able to have a look as we pass. Yep, 50035. The common 50 that is usually used on diesel services at the Severn Valley. If they've got a class 50 running, more or less most of the time it will be 35. It is the more common one to see out of all of the fleet. Hence why I call it the common 50. So here we are at Highley. There we go, we've got the whistle. Yeah, see, I've still got them. It's like I'm missing some kind of fence or something. I don't know what that is. Or foliage. It's very weird. Well, I do like that sound of when you release the loco brake. That noise, you know. Funnily enough, this Class 52 sound pack was the first Armstrong Powerhouse sound pack that I ever actually bought. Which is odd to think, you know, considering that, you know, the Class 33 is my favourite locomotive. You would have thought that the first sound pack I bought from Armstrong Powerhouse was the Class 33, but no, it wasn't. It was actually the Western. And the thing that drew me to it was the horn. Funnily enough, I just loved the horn, and I loved the look of it, and that's what got me into starting, to buy Armstrong Powerhouse products. It was the first video I saw on their Facebook page, sort of video teaser trailer, and yeah, I just adored it. Well, this was years ago now. We're talking over 10 years ago now. Not quite full, but still making some nice sound nonetheless. Yeah, we have to shut off for this. A 15 limit. This is something I really do admire with the route as well, is the difference in like crossings. Just realised it's using the Severn Valley Railway coaching stock. You can tell by the sounds. Much better sounds than standard default. Okay, that's cool. The little bird just perched on there. Brilliant. Oh, coming up to the 25 mark now anyway, so we can just like leave it to do its thing. But yeah, there's so many fine details on this route that that you can just pick up on. There's actually a 20 limit here. You see what I mean though? The speed limits on the Severn Valley are really, really strange. There's a load of difference of speed limits, so many different ones. You got 15s, you got 20s, you got 10s, you got 5s in places as well. It's a tricky route to drive on. It is challenging, but I suppose that's good for players really. It's it makes it more appealing for players. It's more of a challenging drive compared to some of the other routes that we have in TS. Yeah, this 10 mile an hour speed restriction here definitely wasn't here when I drove the 33 in 2018, so this must be quite a new stretch of speed restrictions. See, trouble is now, we're in the 20 zone, we'll start to speed up, and then we'll have to slow down again because of a 15 mile an hour limit coming up, look. I mean, some people may love it and some people may hate it. I mean, to be honest, I find it quite tedious having to keep slowing down and speeding up. It's rather quite annoying. You know, because it requires you to have heavy concentration when you kind of want to look at how beautiful this route is, you know, with all the lovely scenery. So it's tricky in that regard, you know, because the route looks so nice. You want to actually have a look round it and enjoy it, you know. But you feel that you can't really because you're, you know, paying more attention on keeping to the speed limits and driving the speed limits than you are, you know, actually looking around the route, which is, yeah, it's quite frustrating. But hey, it's realistic to the Severn Valley, so that's just how it is. See again, look, we're speeding up, but we're coming up to Hampton Load, so we have to shut off and slow down for the 10 mile an hour speed restriction into the station. Frustrating. Can't help but noticing them LMS posters. I think they're BLS ones as well. I'll have a check in a minute. Oh no, maybe they're not. No, I don't think these are. Well, I don't know, they could be. Might be the BLS ones. If so, again, that's another thing that needs adding to the requirements list on the manual of the Severn Valley. Right, well, we've got the guard's whistle, and yeah, just look at this scenery, you know, look. I just love how there's so much to see on this route, you know, from all the flowers and all sorts. It really is a lovely looking thing. And I know I keep repeating that, but I'm not kidding. You know, it is a lovely looking route. Yeah, I get to hear that satisfying brake sound again. Well, there is a bit of a gradient out here, isn't there? Can feel it. So I try not to drive using the F4, F3 HUD as much as possible. But obviously sometimes I have to use it just if I haven't learned the route, just so I know where like the speed limit changes, like now. Hang about, I like that bridge over there. That's something I have to say, I'm noticing things that I didn't notice in the first look review. Always noticing different things. Oh look, there's a bird. There's a couple of birds hanging on the telegraph, wire. That's just... It's amazing what you can pick up on this route. Oh god, we're coming up to that awful 5-mile-an-hour speed restriction where the landslides usually take place. Obviously there is a reason for them to be like that. It's going to be very, very tedious around this section. How lovely. Now we just sit here and just slowly watch the world go by. Yep, we're going to be here for a little while. So while we're here, maybe we should just have a look at some of the, the foliage. The difference in trees and... Oh, look, there's a deer down there. I suppose at least he's put like little Easter eggs that we can spot while we're speeding at, 5 miles per hour. Good, it's speeding, it's crawling, isn't it? This is the famous house. I mean, you can see why he put attention to detail on this house, can't you? Because if you're going past at this speed really slowly, you're gonna want to see stuff. Like people sat down, cars, and just bits of detail. I just want to put it out there, guys, that the frame rate on this route is absolutely fantastic. I'm currently at 85 frames per second in this really scenic area. That's one thing that really did impress me about this route, is the frame rate. The performance on the route is just absolutely fantastic as well. So not only does it look brilliant, but it runs brilliant as well. It runs really smooth. And it's very, very difficult to get a route so well optimized like this. It's very, very difficult. Especially when you put in like, super detail into it and all of this, fancy stuff. To get the frame rates at a steady 60 to 80 FPS mostly throughout, that is just a testament to the brilliant work that's been put into it. So here we're coming up to the construction I was going to say construction shite then. The construction site. At least they haven't used the Kuju digger with that awful sound that just plays and plays and plays continuously. He could have done that. Although this could be a good viewpoint for a screeny. Oh, we're at the 25 mark now, brilliant. So we can actually get this thing moving. look at that ball of clag there, look. So we're not going to stop at Erdington because we just don't. It's a bit like Northwood Holt, you just sort of go through it. Only request stops really. So Erdington is a station that I personally think is the worst in the route. I mean, he's got the GWR posters that are from the BLS pack, and the right side detail on the station, the right hand side detail, is actually really good, but the actual overall detail on the station itself kind of lacks compared to the other stations along the route. So yeah, Erdington itself, the station, it's not the best. That's probably the station that is just the least detailed throughout throughout all of them. So yeah, so if Jonathan or Matt are watching this video, obviously you've seen the milk bottles I have around Highley and within Kidderminster Canopy. Please do let me know what them assets are in the comments section so I can try and find out what they are and get them sorted, because they are bugging me slightly. If we can get those sorted, that would be great, because then I can actually do a video on this route without having any milk bottles, which would just be grand. Obviously most of it I've got, as you can see, but it's just like tiny little bits that I'm still missing. Oh, wow, just look at the detail on that, that's just fantastic. Just random bits of detail, which... Just beautiful. Yeah, I'm not quite sure about why that is a 15 mile an hour limit over there. I'm guessing because of a weak bridge, but we're coming up to another 25 miles per hour speed restriction, which we're going to have to slow down again because there's a 10 mile an hour speed limit into Bridgnorth. So, yeah, that's interesting. Oh wait, no, there's the manor. Okay, so maybe the manor isn't supposed to come in next to us at Kidderminster. That's interesting. Oh, but the manor... Wait, is that a manor? Yeah, it is a manor, isn't it? That's Great Western Railway Manor class. Hinton Manor. Okay. Yeah, so I don't know what the broken consist was all about then. Nevertheless, it's worth looking at regardless. Also, I've got some more milk bottles down here. I don't know what that is. Just note. I have all of the yard clutter down here now, so... What we will do is dump the brakes because we are going to uncouple here and run around. We've got a pannier tank here as well, 7714. So yeah, that is basically the Severn Valley Railway. I'm going to just get my bearings. Return of a Champion scenario by Will Braddock for the Class 52 in Chromatic Blue reskin pack by British Locomotive Studios. You can download it on the website. I shall link the reskin in the description of the video along with SSS's Buy Me a Coffee link. So obviously it's available for members only of Buy Me a Coffee on early access, but to members of the public it will release in about a week or so's time. I believe it's early access for a week for Buy Me a Coffee members. But yeah, so there we go then, folks. So that was another video on the Steam Sound Supreme super detailed Severn Valley Railway route. I will find out what those milk bottles are at some point. I'm gonna get them sorted. I need to get them sorted, you know. So yeah, we'll see what the scenario has to say at the end to, you know, basically say goodbye. And yeah, I'll basically see you folks in another video hopefully soon. I hope you all had a good Christmas, and I hope you have a good New Year's Eve and New Year as well. So there we go, scenario complete. Well done, driver, you have made it to Bridgnorth. Bridgnorth should have an E in that, but there you go. Bit of a spelling error there. But there we have it, guys. thank you for watching. It's been Samuel Beeman at BLS, and I'll see you in another video. Goodbye for now.